Hey guys, Kevin and Noelle here.
Hey guys, so we're back again with another video. So we just want to start off by saying thank you guys for all the support and love that you guys have shown us in the past couple of days. After the video that we posted, you could just see the support of people, sending their condolences and all that stuff. And we're thankful for that. It means a lot to us every single day, and again, we're doing this for our baby, and it's just important to us. So again, we thank you guys, everyone that has messaged us and just shown us so much love and support. It's very hard for us to open up, but again, we're doing this to show you guys what it's like, what are the reality, what's the reality about it. It's not something that people can sugarcoat. It's something that a lot of people go through, and maybe they're not strong enough to talk about it. And I'm not saying we're strong enough, and we're trying to make ourselves stronger, but my point is that we want people to understand that this is reality, like I've said before. So let's go ahead and begin. So the first complication that we kind of just came across was when I was actually traveling, because I'm a truck driver, and I was already in Arizona. Again, I'm miles away, hours away. It's like 3 a.m. I believe, something like that, probably before. So I get a text, and Nelly texts me saying, "Hey babe," and in my head I was like, dude, what the hell are you doing up? Like, I get upset because sometimes she fights her sleep, and she's like, no, I'll stay up till you get there. And it's like, you cannot compare, like me driving, doing something, and her just laying down comfy. Of course you're gonna fall asleep. So again, I see a text like, hey babe, and I was about to call her, and then I was about to text her saying, babe, why are you awake? But I didn't get much time, and as soon as I got a call, I was like, I wanted to answer like, dude, what the heck are you doing up? And unfortunately it wasn't those type of news. So again, just to kind of give you guys a backstory, this was my side when it all first started, so Nelly is gonna pretty much take over here and what happened.
So it was around, I want to say like 2:30, around there. I was sleeping. I really was. But then I like had the urge to use the restroom, so I didn't want to get up. I was comfortable. I was like warm, comfortable. I didn't want to get up, but I really had to use the restroom. So I went in, and I did my business and stuff. And when I was cleaning myself is when I noticed, that I was bleeding. Mind you, I was 3 months pregnant, and any sign of bleeding is gonna make me feel like something's wrong. It's gonna make me think, hey, this is serious. Like, why are you bleeding? You're not supposed to get your period, for one. Like, it's just not normal. And so I think I had like a blood clot, and it was like super, super big. So in my head I was like, oh my gosh, like I had a miscarriage, something's wrong with the baby. Like, I was just so scared. And so I started bleeding super heavy. And so I came back in the room, I cleaned myself, I came back in the room, and I was crying, like hysterical. And I called Kevin like around 3 a.m. and I was like, babe, like something is wrong. And he was like, what happened? Why are you crying? I'm crying, so I can't get a word out. And he's like, babe, talk to me, like let me know what's going on, like I need you to talk to me. And I'm over here like, baby, like something's wrong, like he can't understand me. There's a cricket in here.
Oh hell no. I'm out. Heck no, I hate crickets.
Where they at? Where that?
Right there, it's like on the side. Right there, dude. Smack it hard, fast.
I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went.
So a little fun fact about me, I said I hate crickets.
Sorry guys.
Oh, Oh my gosh, man.
You told me to smack it and I did.
Why don't you smack it properly?
That's why I told you. You smack it. So we're back.
Alright, so yeah, I hate crickets, guys. Clearly you can tell. That was unexpected. I'm sorry.
Like, I was kind of hysterical and I was like, I'm bleeding, like something's wrong, what should I do? Like, you know, he's obviously in Arizona, miles away. He can't just be like, okay, I'm on my way, like 5 minutes, I'm gonna pick you up, you know? So I was super scared and super nervous, and I was thinking of calling my mom, you know, to take me, but one, she doesn't live far from me, but by the time she gets here and then she has to bring my brother and sister, get them ready and stuff, there was no time for that. It was like, we got to go, you know? So Kevin called his mom and he's like, hey, like something's wrong, you know, with Noeli, like can you go see what it is? And yep, sure enough, his mom came like rushing to the door. Mind you, the room is only right here, but she came rushing, you know, and she's like, what happened? Like, what's wrong? And I told her too, like, I'm bleeding, like my underwear is stained, like I don't know what's wrong, I'm scared. She's like, let's go to the hospital. So right away she drove to the hospital and we went, and I was texting my mom while on the way, and I was like, hey, you know what, like I'm at the hospital, this is happening, like, you know, I'm with Kevin's mom, like, you know, just updating her, like, you know, something's going on, but someone's with me, you know, like I'm not just by myself because, you know, Kevin's working. So we get to the hospital and we have to register. So I'm registering, I'm putting my name in, and I'm crying, and they finally received me, and they put me like the little tubes to like check my blood and stuff, and they're like, oh, you know, like we'll come back and check your vitals and stuff to see if everything's okay. Mind you, we went in at 3 a.m. in the morning, probably like around 3:20. We didn't get out until like 8 in the morning, I want to say. They did, however, tell me that I was low on amniotic fluid, so to stay on bed rest and drink lots of water. But other than that, they said that it was okay and that the bleeding was gonna happen just because my uterus is expanding, and whatever, you know, happens down there, it just pushed it out. So they said everything, you know, it was okay, it was fine. I just had to take pills, drink water, and stay on bed rest. It was like that for quite a while, and then I stopped bleeding. So I was like, okay, you know what, maybe everything's back to normal, you know. Like it was kind of like, oh, you know, like you're fine, I can go back to my regular stuff, you know. So
I mean, that was one of the first things. Basically after that, we why are you going out of camera to drink? Oh my god.
I don't want to be rude and do that.
I was thirsty too and I held it. He's both.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
The next complication was when we went to a ultrasound of many, so maybe like 2 before, and we wanted to see what the gender was, and our baby just wouldn't let herself. And this one time we were like, you know what, let's go somewhere else. It's been a couple weeks already, let's go ahead and check her out, you know. I think she's a little bigger now, for sure. She has to let herself, you know, stuff like that. So we go with our friends, and Nigel and Fatima, and you know, we were gonna make a big thing, like record, you know, just find out the gender, like, you know, and stuff like that, and surprise our parents. But unfortunately, that's when we found out that our baby was, how can you explain it, like with a big belly, but not sure why, you know? So we went to the hospital. They checked her, they did a couple of blood work again, I think they did like an ultrasound just to see how she was. And I specifically told the lady that was doing the ultrasound, is that like her stomach or like what is that? but I obviously knew that it was her stomach inflamed. But I just wanted to see if she would question it as well, like, hey, there's something wrong, you know, or at least tell me, like, you know what, I think this is the belly. I feel like we should talk to the doctor immediately or something, you know. But
Yeah.
she just said, oh, I can't say anything or do anything because I'm not a doctor. I'm just taking pictures
Mhm.
of everything. And then I was just like, okay, I guess. We were like, let's just, you know, let's just stay strong, you know. Only because we hear a heartbeat, we feel like she's strong. Her heartbeat was
Yeah.
so strong,
Mm.
you know. And it was like, that's fine, you know. Like, I know eventually maybe it's just swollen right now.
Yeah.
Maybe in a couple of days it'll go down, you know, and things will be better. So fortunately it wasn't that way, you know.
Right. So July 18th, I was having the same contraction feeling, pain, but it was 10 times worse than the first time. But in my head, I was kind of like, I felt this before, you know, like the doctor said it was normal. I don't think it's necessary to go back in because I already went and they already told me, like, it's fine, you know, like you're gonna feel that throughout my entire time until I give birth. So I was kind of hesitant. I was just like, they're just gonna go away, you know, like I'll either go, you know, on all fours and, you know, the whole pain will just go away. I'll twist and turn and, you know, something, it'll just go away. And they wouldn't. It was just horrible. It would continue to like be like a stabbing pain all around my stomach, my lower back. I just couldn't stand it. And so like around 8 or 9, Kevin was like, do you want to eat tacos? Like, do you want to eat? And I was laying down on my side and I was like, I don't want anything, you know, like I'm not in the mood. And he's like, please, like, can you eat, you know? And I was like, okay, I'll eat a taco. So I couldn't sit up. I couldn't, you know, eat my taco. I had to physically lay down, eat it like this, and, you know, that's how I could handle the pain. And so I, you know, had to use the restroom. And hours before, I would use the restroom fine, you know, like there was no blood anymore, mind you. I was bleeding before. There was no more blood, you know, color was fine. I was just using the restroom normal again. And then a couple of hours before I was eating the tacos, I started bleeding again. And so when I finished eating the tacos, I had to use the restroom. And so when I went in the restroom, I did my business and I cleaned myself. But when I cleaned myself this time, it was heavier blood and I felt like a ball in my private area. And in my head, I was kind of like, I've never felt this before. Like, what is this? You know, why do I have a ball? And so Kevin was, I believe, in the room or in the dining room, and I texted him. I was like, hey, can you come to the restroom really quick? Like, I need you to check something out. And so I cleaned myself and I told Kevin, like, hey, can you feel down there, like, what that is? Like, I don't know what it is. I've never felt that. And so I was clean and he, you know, he put his hand down there and he's like, let's go. Like, that is not okay. Like, that's not normal. Like, let's go to the hospital. And I'm crying because I'm like, what is it? Like, what do you feel? Like, I don't know what he was thinking, you know? My hands come into the room and he's like, hey, do you mind if I take a look down there to see what I see, you know? And I was like, yeah. So I lay down and he checks down there and he basically says, like, crying, hey, I see my baby's foot, you know, like I see her little toes. And in my head, I'm like, what do you mean you see her toes? Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, I couldn't understand what was happening. And he was just like, let's go. We had to get rushed to the hospital. And his mom came with us and, you know, they told her, like, you need to get out. And they also told Kevin, like, you need to go outside and wait outside before we, you know, we prep her. And in my head, I was just like, even if he's the father, like, he can't be in there, you know, like, I couldn't sign paperwork. So whatever the guy was asking, Kevin was answering because I was in such pain that I was over here with my mother-in-law, like, basically pressuring her hand and like, you know, just holding so tight because I couldn't handle the pain, and I was just so worried. And he was answering all the questions, and the guy, you know, noticed that he was answering everything, that he was like, okay, you know what, you can come in, everything's fine. You know what, I can't do this, I can't wait for a room, like I need to lay down. So the lady saw, and she was like, you know what, she can't lay down, like let's get her to a room. So they finally got us into a room, and I believe 2 or 3 nurses came in, and they were like, okay, like we're gonna check if you have pain. I'm over here crying like I have pain, you know, and they're still trying to like go softly, can you feel this? And I'm like, yes, like it hurt. Said, you know, like he Paige, this is emergency C-section, like we gotta go like right now. And we went into the room. I honestly have no idea where Kevin was. I was expecting him to be, you know, by my bed, you know, being there. He had me curled on my back, and they're like, okay mom, like don't move, because we talked to husband and we said that, you know, this can paralyze you, like you cannot move. So I was basically like so scared but in pain. I wanted to move but so scared of, you know, something happening. And I was just staying down praying that everything was gonna be okay. And they turned me on my back, had to lay down. So they pinched me, and they were like, hey, can you feel this? And I was like, yes, I can feel that. They pinched me again, and they were like, can you feel that? And I was like, yes, I can feel it. And then they pinched me one more time, and something was happening. All I heard was beeps, and they were like, can you feel that? And I was like, yes. The beeps started getting louder, and all I remember was that they slashed me, and I started screaming. I was like, ow, like that hurt. It hurt so bad. They slashed me. So they slashed me 3 times, and after that, I don't know if I passed out. I don't know if the anesthesia kicked in. And the reason that they slashed me, or that they cut me open already, for a better term, was because they couldn't wait for the anesthesia to come in. Like the baby was coming already. They could not wait for me to, you know, go down. They couldn't. So after the 3 slashes, I don't remember anything until the next day, or until later that night. And that's when Kevin was there for everything, so he's gonna explain to you guys.
Alright guys, so that was video number 1. Part 2 is gonna be tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed that side of the story. Tomorrow is gonna be my side of the story. So continue to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you guys. Bye guys.